Hello everyone, my name is Robert Huggins. I am the Director of Turning Point, the Drug and Alcohol Rehabilitation and Detoxification Center. As the Director, I spend a lot of time sort of managing staff, directing policy, evaluating programs, just ensuring that the center itself operates at the highest standard it can, making sure that everything runs smoothly, the client's needs are met, etc. So it's largely a managerial position. I don't actively get involved in client work in terms of providing psychological care, etc. However, in addition to my role as the director, I am also a counselor, with the Employee Assistance Program. Now, an EAP or Employee Assistance Program is basically any program within a company's structure that provides support to the employees, right, as the name suggests. And that support can be anything from financial, psychological, educational, a number of different ways, to be honest with you. But the EAP operating from the Ministry of Public Service is primarily providing psychological support. My specific role is in providing group therapy in terms of psychoeducational sessions and debriefings and online sessions, webinars, teachings, these types of things. Occasionally I do individual sessions, but primarily I'm involved in the group or online aspects. That role, as far as the council is concerned, one day a week basically I dedicate to that. The rest of the time, like I said, I'm the director at Turning Point, so majority of my time is spent in that role. So I spoke a little bit about what that role is, but I'm not the only one within there who provides that care. Within our structure we have counselors, we have nurses, we have the RCAs, or the rehabilitative care assistants, we have our attendants, nursing attendants, our domestic assistant, and that's it. So the attendants are basically how should I put it, they're the ones who do most of the work within the center in terms of engaging with the clients primarily, being involved in most of the task and assisting in the others, the counselors and the nurses in the roles that they play. Right, so you find that they interact in many cases mostly with the clients. The nurses provide the care for their physical needs, in terms of prescription or medication and so forth. They don't prescribe, but they work with the doctors who come in 2 or 3 times a week to ensure that the client's physical health care is taken care of. And when we do in our detoxification, etc., when clients are going through their relapse or the withdrawal, they need to have that medical support to help them, particularly when it comes to alcohol withdrawal, which can be particularly dangerous. So having that medical professional there to monitor and ensure that it doesn't go bad is always a wise thing. Then of course we have our counselors who provide the psychological support to the counseling, etc., to the clients coming in. So they're the ones who basically lead the treatment plan for the clients in terms of what their needs are, etc. Rehabilitative care assistants are basically our 12-step experts. So they're the ones who guide the clients through the 12 steps that is associated with the Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous programs. So they guide them through those steps so that they can find support as they work through the steps, as they say. Right, our domestic primarily keeps the area clean, but she also assists by teaching the clients how to maintain hygiene, how to clean. A lot of clients come in because they are so obsessed with their drug use, they don't really have a sense of how to care for themselves. So that's where between the nurses and the domestic, they work with them to teach them how to properly care or clean after themselves, etc. And then, well, there's of course me, who just basically overlooks their good work and ensures that everything is going well. The role is difficult. Being a counselor or dealing with persons who need mental health support is particularly difficult, but dealing with drug users is a little more than that. It can be a bit more challenging than the regular mental health thing. So there are a lot of things that you have to, that skills, soft skills as they say, aside from the training in terms of, you know, you depending on which role you want to take on. And I personally have a master's in counseling psychology, but you know, you may have there are other degrees or levels of education that you can attain to work within a setting like such as our own. For example, our RCAs, we don't really look at academic degrees per se, but more of our RCAs are best when they themselves are recovered addicts who can speak to them the 12-step program from a personal experience and be able to guide them in that journey from that perspective. So there's not necessarily a need for us to focus on what their academic degree is, but just so at the same time, I'm not encouraging you to become an addict just so you can recover and become an RCA. But that's you really have to look very carefully at what the role or the thing that you want to do is, and find out what the academic needs are. There are some times that you need to build these your academics from early, from the time you're in Form 1, Form 3, when you're choosing your subjects, etc., that you make that decision that sort of guides you. One thing I will say is that personally, I thought I had a vision for my life when I was, I suppose, I'm not sure what level would be receiving this video, but throughout my high school or secondary school career, I really thought that I had an idea on what I wanted to do, but I'm not where I thought I would be, and that's not a bad thing. Sometimes life throws you curveballs. You kind of just have to deal with it. So it's good to have a good foundation, really, and it's good to be flexible and be quick on your feet, so that when things change, you don't just sort of focus on the negativity of the change itself, but you try to, you know, develop from that and grow with it. But that being said, you know, it's very good to have good communication skills, problem solving, conflict resolution is very good as well, empathy, active listening, especially if you go into the field of psychology, etc. You need to be able to connect with your clients. So the first thing I would say is that if you choose to go into a field, you have to ask yourself really and truly, is this really the field that you want to go? Because you kind of need those skills. You kind of need to be a person who's, in a sense, empathetic and who can listen to people's problems and be able to, you know, not want, be there for them, be supportive, right? And it's one of those thankless jobs in many ways, right? You do a lot for people, but you don't really get a lot back. In the mental health field, not just in the mental health field, as doctors, nurses, I'm friends with a lot of them, and they will tell you how much clients will sort of curse them out or you know, take them for granted, not realizing what they're going through, the long hours, etc. So it's a very thankless job in many ways. The field, the healthcare profession, is not really as respected as it was at one point. So it's really something you should do if you love it, not something you should do just for the money per se, because it's a lot of hard work just getting there, and it's a lot of hard work once you're in the field itself. And it can be very thankless. So you need to be able to derive your own joy out of it, and not rely on, you know, others to thank you for it. That being said, keep that in mind. Focus, work hard, and be flexible. Like I said, be open to change, be accepting of it if you want, but at the same time, if you have your heart set on something, work hard towards that as well, right? And one last caveat, when it comes to psychology specifically, psychology is a field that sort of, it's involved in everything, in car design, in architecture, in a number of different fields of psychology involved. So you can actually find a way to tie in psychology into something else that you might enjoy as well, right? So look into that as well if psychology is something that you're interested in. But in any case, thank you very much for your time. I hope this is useful to you, and good luck in the future.